Well, hello. Welcome to Charging with Charlotte. This is a quick place where I tell fun stories about mortgage, about my past life. And today I'm actually going to tell some stories, just one or two stories of things that I have done in the past, especially as a child or a young adult, that I would absolutely kill my children if they did. I'm sure some of you out there might have some of these same type of situations to where we look back in life and we think, what was I thinking? That was really crazy. But they do end up being some of the best stories. And if my children did these things and I found out about it, I'm pretty sure I would kill them. So today I am out of town. I hope my internet is fast enough, or fingers crossed. But let's start right in with this story. This is probably one of my most what were you thinking moments that ended up totally fine. But it was still kind of a crazy story from when I was about 28. So I was 28 years old. I was on a cruise with some amazing girlfriends. So, girlfriends, if you happen to see that I'm live right now, I hope you join and can attest to this story. We were on a cruise and we got off in Mexico. I think it was Cozumel. It maybe had been Cancun. I don't remember. It's been a while. And we got off the cruise and we went to like one of those beaches, where you get off and you go for a day pass, free drinks, there's some food, there's beach chairs, sun, and a beautiful ocean that you can go play in. Well, I love to snorkel. Actually, one of my stories that I want us to tell down the road is how I became the snorkeler and the hilarious story of my parents getting me to snorkel for the first time. But I digress. We were in Mexico, and if anybody has been to Mexico, you know that some of the best snorkeling. The water is just pristine. The blue is gorgeous. And it was one of those days it was just perfect. But the beach that we were at did not have the best snorkeling area. There wasn't a reef close by, so it was just, swimming in the ocean, which sometimes can be good, but I'm spoiled. I like a good reef to go snorkeling. So lo and behold, I am out and we are all sitting there, they're all drinking their frozen drinks, and I'm thinking, I want to go snorkeling. I brought my own snorkel and there just wasn't a good place to go. We had the most precious bartender who would come over and, see if we wanted any sodas or drinks or whatever, food. And he's just very super sweet, barely speaks English, but that doesn't matter. My Spanish was a little better than it is now. Maybe not super great, but it was a little bit better. I ended up telling him that I wanted to go snorkeling and asked him if he knew of anybody that I could go snorkeling with, right? Like, how can I go snorkeling? Is there any way that I can go snorkeling? And this guy says, in all of his broken English, that he has some friends that have a boat and they would take me out. I'm like, really? They take me out snorkeling? He's like, yeah, they pick you up down here at this pier. I'm like, oh, how much would they charge? He's like, $30. Like, $30 sold. Call your friends. So, needless to say, my friends that are with me are not snorkels. They're also a little bit lit. Again, if you're watching this, comment in the bottom. You might remember this story. My girlfriends, I will not name any names in this story, but they were enjoying those frozen drinks on the beach with this all-inclusive beach pass. I was sober. I was enjoying the water and all the sunshine. But my sober self still decides to walk out to said pier, and I proceed to get on a little boat, this little tiny boat, like a barely 3-seat boat, just a little dinghy. And with two people that don't speak any English, two guys. They were probably maybe 25, 24, I don't know. Who knows? They didn't speak any English. We did not talk much. But me, by my little lonesome, in Mexico, speaking very little Spanish, gets on a boat with two random strangers in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, you see why I would kill my children if they did this, right? But I get on this boat and they take me out to this reef. And let me just tell you, the best snorkeling. Like, I'm by myself. They're like, snorkel? I'm like, sure, yeah, let's go. I put on my mask, put on my purse, and I just jump off this boat into the water with, again, two strangers, don't know them, and don't really speak a lot of English. They speak zero English, actually. Anyway, I get out, and the snorkeling was amazing. So I spent 30, 45 minutes. They probably thought I was this completely crazy American. I mean, what kind of crazy American one gets on a boat with two random strangers in the middle of Mexico and then just proceeds to jump off the side of their boat and just go swimming for 45 minutes? I remember I was out for a long time. and then looked up and I'm like, I guess it's time. My $30 is spent. Got back in their boat. And thank goodness these were good people. And they brought me right back to the pier where my friends were sitting there like, did you really just get on a random boat with two complete strangers in a different country and go snorkeling? Yes, friends, that is exactly what I did. And if my children did the same thing in today's day and age, I would probably literally come across the country and yank them out of said boat, snatch them up, and say, absolutely not. You may not do that. But, hey, it was a great story. And in all honesty, don't tell my kids this, it was probably some of the best snorkeling I've ever had because, I just got to explore. They took me to a reef and it was awesome. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Telling my crazy stories that you would agree that if your children did this, Dawn, you would also snatch them up. You would find a way of teleporting to Mexico and pulling your children out of the boat and telling them, absolutely not, you're not getting on a boat with two strangers. But lo and behold, I am still here. I am safe all in one piece. And I am still alive to tell this amazing story. I was not abducted, which was good at the age of 28 years old. So that's story number one. Story number two, right? I mean, we'd kill him. I'm sure, Dawn, you probably have a couple stories thinking back to like your young adult that today, if your daughter or even sons did those stories, you'd have to hang them, right? we'd go after them. I think if my mother had any idea of what I was doing that day, she probably would have found me as well. So my other story of things that I did as a child that I would kill my kids if they did. So this is going back even a little further in time, and I don't remember my exact age, but Sarah Haddock was one of my very dear friends. Her name is Sarah Little now. Hopefully she'll come back and watch this and she can laugh at our funny, hysterical story. We had graduated and were coming back to our Christian high school, Oakdale Christian High School, for some kind of a homecoming. And we had decided, now this is in the rural mountains. I mean, like super rural mountains of Eastern Kentucky is where this school is. So we're maybe 19, maybe 20 at the most. We were not 21 at this point. We were young. And this school was maybe 20 miles away from the city. But we had decided that the city, this big town of Jackson, Kentucky, if anybody knows where that is, you can literally sneeze and go right through it. It is very close to where Hazard, the Dukes of Hazzard, was created. So anyway, I go into Walmart and me and my friend get out of the car and we go into Walmart, the only thing in this huge metropolis of Jackson, Kentucky. We're in there, we're shopping, and we come out. And when we come out to the car, there is somebody in my car. Like the doors open and there's somebody with their hind end kind of like stuck out of my car. And they're in my car. I'm like, and I had this little tiny Geo Metro convertible. So it's not like a super popular car. And I'm like, why is this person? Am I at the wrong car? What's going on? They pop back out. They see us. They're like, oh, sorry, wrong car. I thought this was my car. And then they skitladdle real quick into the Walmart. Thought that was kind of strange, but we proceed to get into the car without thinking much about it. And I sit down and I look, and I had left because I'm Charlotte. And if you know me, I am very good about leaving my phone in inappropriate places. And at this time, it was just a little flip phone. Hey, I'm dating myself, but I was 19 years old. I had a little flip phone and I had put it on the dash in my little Geo Metro. And I looked down to see where my phone was, and oh, weird, it was missing. So me and all of my 19-year-old fervor am pissed. Like this dude just stuck his head in my car. Of course it wasn't locked. If you know me, you know, right? He stuck his head in my car, reached and grabbed my cell phone right in front of me. And I had to, of course, chase him. Yes. Yes, he went into the Walmart. We saw him go into the Walmart. So what does my 19, 20-year-old butt do? My 19, 20-year-old butt follows said criminal into Walmart, chasing him down. I'm like running pitter, 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 pitter after him. And I proceed to follow him. He goes into the candy aisle. My friend Sarah is back here. She's the voice of reason. Charlotte, no. I'm like, I'm following him. Go catch the cop. So she goes over to get the police officer. And I'm literally, 19 years old. I might have been 150 pounds soaking wet at the time, but on this big dude because he stole my daggum phone. So I see him duck into, thank you, Beth. Yeah, I have some pretty crazy, I do some dumb things. What can I say? I see him duck into the candy aisle, right? He ducks into the candy aisle and I lose him. So I can't find him anymore. I go back to find my friend Sarah, who has found the police officer. I'm like, the only place I didn't see where he went was like right before he went into the candy aisle. I was behind him. So I'm like, I'm going to go look in that candy aisle. And sure enough, I never found the guy. He got away. But in all of his wisdom, he knew to stash the goods. And underneath the Reese cups in the candy aisle, I see bing, a little Nikon. Is that right, Nikon? Is that what they were called? Little flip phones sticking up in the candy. So, my dumb butt, who chased down criminal by myself in Walmart for stealing my phone, did find said phone in the Reese's cups. I was very, very happy about this. But that is another story that if my daughter told me that somebody stole something from her car, she caught them, and then she chased them on foot, I may have to kill her for that one as well. So, two stories, both of which don't have anything to do with mortgage, but they're fun stories to tell my children and tell them if they ever do such things, I will kill them. I hope you got a good smile from that, everybody. Have a fantastic evening, and I will be back next week with a mortgage story for you all. Some of the craziest closings that I have had. I've been in this industry for 26 years, 25 years, I don't even remember. And we have had some pretty crazy closings. So, Beth, I hope you will join me for that. I know you can definitely, Dawn, too. You guys can attest. Dawn, you may have been in on one of my craziest closings. Anyway, I hope you will join me next week. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Smile a lot. Talk to you later.